Diet can be really difficult if you're eating only healthy and not yummy. Since I'm a big foodie, I had to find food that was healthy and delicious at the same time. Today I'm going to share with you 3 different ways to eat tofu, yummy and healthy. And our first menu is Tofu Yufu. If you've seen my previous diet vlog, you will be familiar with this menu already. I had to include it in this list because I absolutely love it. It's so simple to make and super delicious. What you do is you dry your tofu and crumble it with hand or with wooden spoon in a bowl. We want to get rice-like texture. And this time I actually boiled an egg and added grated egg white to it for a little bit of more protein. And just mix it up. If you go to any Korean market around you, you'll be able to find a green package of Yufu like this. I don't know why it's green, but yes. And in the package, you'll be able to find the fried tofu as well as the little dried garnishments and the sauce for our tofu filling. This is all you need besides the tofu rice replacement that we made. First, I add this dried garnishments to the tofu filling that I made. This is completely optional. I don't exactly know what it does to the taste, but it just looks pretty and colorful, so I do add them and give it a good stir. Then you go ahead and add your sauce to it. So when you're making sushi, you're supposed to season your rice, so this is what it is. It's got a little bit of tangy taste to it and it gives a bit more salty taste to it too. So you're pretty much just seasoning your tofu rice. I didn't use the whole thing because tofu already has some moisture more than rice, so I just added like half of it and gave it a good mix. Now it's just the assembly part. You get one of these Yufu thing sheets and you open it up like a pocket and just fill it in with our tofu filling. And now you are eating less carbs because usually you're supposed to put rice in this. That's a lot of rice that goes into this little packet. So you're substituting all of that rice with tofu, which is more protein and less carbs. And I just wanted to make it look pretty, and so I added yolk from the boiled egg that we used for the filling and just garnished it on top, and it looked pretty and was super delicious and nutritious too. Our next menu on the list is air fried brown tofu. Just like the first recipe, you're going to drain out as much moisture out of the tofu as possible. Just give it a nice tap and squeeze. And then you're going to cut the tofu halfway in and make a grid shape on the top because we want to see those little cubes on top. Now transfer the tofu onto a parchment paper and set it aside while we make our sauce. To 1 tablespoon of water, add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, half tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1/4 tablespoon of fish sauce, and then add a tablespoon of honey. If you want to make the sauce vegan, you can leave out the fish sauce and the oyster sauce and replace it with light soy sauce, and instead of honey you can use some brown sugar that's vegan. And now we're going to cover our tofu with the sauce that we just made. Make sure you get the sauce in between the little cubes as well. Once the tofu is nicely all coated, we're going to transfer our tofu into our air fryer and cook it at 200 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on your air fryer. Once the tofu is out of the air fryer, we want to drizzle more of the leftover sauce from before because the sauce that we covered with is now dried. This is honestly one of the greatest tofu dish you can make. It looks really pleasing and it's so soft at the bottom but super crispy and nice on top, and just the right amount of salty and sweetness together. And the last menu on the list is the simplest and easiest to make. You literally start on a pan and just break apart your tofu and stir fry until you can evaporate as much moisture as possible. This is a very popular Korean diet method to replace rice. We eat a lot of white rice, but that's very high in carbs, so when you're on a diet, you want to substitute it with things like tofu. After stir-frying your tofu on its own for a while and evaporating the water, you want to add an egg and stir-fry it with it. Adding an egg actually gives a good firm texture that's more like rice, and it also adds more protein to it. If you'd like, you can season it with some salt and pepper, but most of the times I just leave it as it is because it's already delicious, and I usually eat it with banchans on the side. Look at the texture, it actually looks like rice. As a Korean, I have side dishes, banchans at home all the time, so I just fry up this tofu rice and eat it with my banchans, and it's honestly the best meal you can have. It's simple, it's filling, but you feel super clean and not too heavy afterwards. So these have been my 3 favorite tofu dish that I make while I'm on a diet. Super delicious and healthy as I promised. I hope you guys give it a try and let me know in the comment how it went. Until next time, it was Stacy. Bye!